Hi everyone, and welcome back to the very last card in today's card class. I've had an absolute blast making these cards for you and sharing them all with you, and it's been really good to just share a bit of creativity with you all. So I have saved the busiest card to last, and this is it. So this is a fancy fold card, and it's got a bit of a fun feature to it. So it's a standard card size, and it has a little pull out feature. The idea is that you pull this piece and that piece opens up. So it's a very fun card design. It is a little bit tricky, so you might want to watch the video first before you start doing anything else. And I hope you enjoy making it. So I have already cut out for you in your pack the pieces of the pieces of card that you need to make this. What you need to cut yourself is the pieces of designer series paper. So we're going to work first of all on our piece that looks like this. Okay, so we are going to start with our trimmer, and I am going to score at 15 centimetres. Okay, so it's in my trimmer and it's lengthways, and I'm going to score that at 15 centimetres. Okay, now that basically is our fold over piece, but we need to do some other things to it before we move on. So in this large section here, we're going to line it up at 1 centimetre, and we're going to cut down to this score line. Okay, and you can do that with your trimmer. Okay, so that's just cut down to that line. We're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same the other side. So we're going to cut at 1 centimetre down to that first score line. Okay, and then what you're going to do now is you're going to score at 1 centimetre. So pop it back in your trimmer, and you're going to score down to that score line. Okay, and then turn it over and repeat the other side. So this is where having a trimmer and a scorer and a trimming blade comes in really handy. So what you're now going to do with these two pieces here is you're going to cut them off. Okay, so just notch in and cut those out. So we then have something that looks like this. What you're then going to do is fold your score lines over and give them a really firm crease with your bone folder. And that is the start of our structure for this card. Okay, so you might want to watch that back. I had to watch it a couple of times. This card design comes from an American demonstrator. I wish I could remember her name. It is Lisa Curcio. She's over in America. She's a very talented demonstrator. I have basically adapted the card design so that it is in UK measurement, so it fits with our standard size cards. Okay, the American cards are somewhat a little bit larger, but what I will do is I'll share the link to the original card for you in the post when I share this video. Okay, so we're not going to put anything together as of yet. We're going to put that to one side. You then have another piece of basic white here, and this measures, I can't remember what it measures, but I'll tell you. This measures 19 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres, and this piece here is what we're going to create this pull-out section from. Okay, so that we're going to score it just once. We're going to score it at 7.5 centimetres on the long side. Okay, and we have that. Then the last little piece you should have in your kit, which I don't appear to have given myself, which is always handy. It might be here. Here it is. It's in my tin. this last little piece we need, we're going to score two sides of it, two opposite sides, it doesn't matter which. It's a square piece of card that measures 6.5 centimetres by 6.5 centimetres, and you're going to score two ends at 1 centimetre. Okay, so we've got 1 and then 2. We're going to put that piece to one side as well. Now the trick with this card, before we do anything more, is we're going to decorate these pieces. Okay, so we're going to start with our folder, and we are going to attach a piece of designer series paper. This is 10 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, so that will give you just a nice little border of basic white showing around the edge. It's entirely up to you what pattern you use. You could go really, really vibrant with that pattern, or you could go similar sort of colour that I have used, like so, and then in here you could mix it up with the bright paper, which I very well may do. Okay, just to give you a little bit of an example of what it's like with patterns rather than sort of plain DSPs. Okay, so I'm just picking this up, and I'm going to just layer this on to the front like so. Okay, actually I could have decorated the front once we've put it together, but we've started and here we are. So for this next piece we have a piece of DSP that sits like so in there. I mean, we could use that pattern, and that pattern would look really nice actually. Should we go with that pattern? Let's mix it up on this card, shall we? So we've got that piece in there, and then for this top piece, have I cut a piece? I don't think I have actually. This piece needs to measure 7 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that down. So we've got 7 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. And that piece is going to sit. Oh, I've still not cut it down right. Dear. The width is 8.5, so it needs to be 8 centimetres. It's better to cut it too big than too small though, hey. So this piece is going to sit just on there. Okay. So this piece is going to sit in there like so, and it's going to slide down. So how we create that mechanism is using this particular piece of card. This is the 6.5 centimetre by 6.5 centimetre piece, and we need to curl this, okay? So just use your bone folder and make it really curly, okay? Curl it all in the same direction. So you can see that it's got a really nice shape to it. This is going to make, the curlier this is and the more sort of pliable your card is. So what you're doing with this is you're breaking down the fibres in the card and making it really, really pliable, okay? Which is important when we are doing this next part. So what you're going to do is you're going to put some tear and tape along that top banner, along that top edge, okay? Peel off the backing, and this piece is going to sit, you're going to turn it over so the sticky is on this side, and you're going to attach this piece to the top of your card, top of your DSP. So you're going to line it up with the top edge of that DSP like so. Okay, now you're going to put your tear and tape on there, And this is why I think it would be best to watch this before you do anything else. Okay, now with this next bit I would recommend you use a piece of grid paper. So let's just take a piece of this grid paper like so, and you're going to bring this in, and you want to make sure this is centered between, sort of in the width of the card, and you want to make sure that, just remember this, which way it is. You want to make sure that this line here, and this is where your grid paper comes in, because you need to make sure it's straight. You want to make sure that this edge here, when you folded that back on itself, lines up with this edge of your card, okay? So just make sure it's all straight. Just use the squares on your grid paper to make sure that's straight, and then push down. Okay, that will then slide up into your card and it will pull down and open. Okay, what you can then do is you can then bring it all out. You can then attach these pieces here. So do that with some tear and tape. Again, tear and tape or Seal Plus will be your best friend with this card. And that's why we've decorated that insert piece, the bulk of it, before we've done anything else. So it's definitely trickier than it looks. When you break it down into those wee steps, actually it works quite well. It's just getting that mechanism right. So fold that back in and then bring your card over and attach it down. Okay, just show you what this looks like in here, and that comes out and opens up. Okay, fabulous. We're cooking with gas, gang. So I'm just putting that back in there. Now the next piece, you'll notice in here you've got your little tabs. Now my one here, I didn't do that with this one. This piece gets stuck on those little tabs that you've secured. So you're going to take a piece of DSP now, and you're going to attach that just inside so that it overlaps those tabs. It basically gives you a smooth running section, so you've got nothing for it to get caught on. Okay. So just attach that inside. Attach it so that you've got a good border of white, similar to what you've got at the top and at the sides, and then smooth that down. Okay, and then you've got nothing for it to get stuck on when you're pulling it in and out. Okay, so that bit is done. We've then just got to decorate our cards. I'm going to add this little white die inside here, like so. Okay, and then to the outside, pop that back in there. To the outside, I've gone with a basic white circle that I have added on to the centre. I've already gone ahead and cut some pieces out. Actually, that should have gone onto pads. Try and tease that off ever so slightly. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to put this onto pads. And then stick that to the front of my card. I've then got this little die that is going to sit just inside. It's not a die, sorry, it's a piece of the DSP that I have trimmed out. So I'm just going to stick that down. That's it. I've already gone ahead and cut these things out already. Now, what I should have done before I stuck that circle on actually is stamped my ladybug. So my ladybug here, he's going to be stamped onto my circle. We're going to try and do this with it stuck down. Wish me luck. So I'm just stamping him nicely, and then he's going in the centre of that circle. Now let's see. Not bad, not bad. Now we're going to stamp him again onto a piece of white, and we're going to 3D his face. Do like a bit of 3Ding on my cards. So, and we're just going to trim off his face. So trim out on his outline rather than leaving a white line. And then with a dimensional, put a dimensional in his face, and then attach that bit over the top, and you just get a little 3D'd face there. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out some of these flowers to start. I didn't think you'd want to sit and watch me stamp and cut out, so I've cut out my flower. On this one I've added 2, but actually I wanted to try it with just 1, and I think I quite like that. And then for my ladybird, I'm going to colour him in, and I'm going to colour him in with a stamping blend. So I've just got a Calypso Coral stamping blend. You could use the infill stamp if you wanted to, that comes in the stamp set, but I wanted to show you just a little other technique that you can achieve with these stamp. It really is a very, very versatile stamp set. It's good for colouring, it's good for using with a punch, it's good for flowers and leaves. I'm just giving him a little bit of shading. Like so. Okay, so we've got our little ladybird like that. Okay, and the last thing we've got to do is just add in some flowers and a little bit of detail. So onto this white circle, and I really should have done this before I stuck it down, I'm just going to add a little bit of dotting around the edge of this circle. It's quite a plain looking circle, so just to bring in another bit of detail. You can do this with a black fine liner if you have one, a black Stampin' Right marker, or if you want you can leave it nice and plain. This is a really old Stampin' Up journaling pen that I will be gutted when it runs out, because it's such a good pen. Stampin' Up, if by chance, by miracle you are watching, can we have these back please? They really were lovely. Okay, so we have our detail there. I've got a little bit of gold. Of course I have from that ephemera, this pack. I'm giving up what it's called, the Expressions in Ink sort of press out pack. And it just adds another little detail to your card. So I'm just going to pop these in here. Like so, and then onto our piece inside. Oh, we've got a little flower to stick on the front. I forgot about the flower. A couple of little flowers. These I've already stamped and cut out as well, and these have been stamped in Pale Papaya. These are. so. And then inside, I'm going to pull that out, we've got some more flowers in the top. I thought I had 3 of these, but I haven't. I've only got 2, so we'll just go with 2. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our ladybird. Okay, so we're going to stamp that onto some white card, and I'm going to use, here we go, let's get our ladybird, 1 and 2. I've used lots of blocks for this class. So with this, be mindful of where your punch is going, okay? So I'm going to stamp him so he's upside down. Oh, goodness. That could have been disastrous, couldn't it? Stamp him like that. And then punch him out with the punch. Like so. And then I'm going to stamp those on the edge. I'm stamping in Calypso Coral, so I'm keeping with that colour scheme we've got running throughout the whole card set. And then before we punch that out, we're going to stamp our dots. You can stamp these or you can colour them in with a black pen. It's really up to you. And then give that a little punch. So this is just a different sort of look that you can achieve with this set. And actually the Calypso Coral here looks really, really red, doesn't it? It looks quite different to the colour of the card, but it goes in really nicely. And he is just going to sit just down there. Like so. So then he will just get pushed inside. And then we've got our sentiment to finish up, and that's just happy birthday. That comes from the art gallery stamp set here, and I'm just going to cut a piece of black. Let me just check the width. I think it's 1.5 centimetres. Yeah, it is. Let's cut a little strip that is 1.5 centimetres wide. And we will heat emboss this sentiment to finish up. So this says happy birthday, which is here. I haven't found the little mini stamp from the Ladybird set. I have no idea where that's gone. I've had my craft room apart. It's always very annoying when that happens, especially when you need it for filming, but I hope you will stick with me regardless. So let's just stamp this. Add our embossing powder, and then let's set that with our heat tool. Going to trim off the edge of that at an angle. Oh no, it wasn't that one. It's the front edge we trimmed down a bit. And he is just going to sit on our card front like so. to finish off. Now what you could do if you wanted to, you could add in a little sentiment down here to just bring it all together. But that is it. That is our 6th and final card design of today's class. I do hope you've enjoyed the designs. I hope you found them a bit different. I hope maybe you've learned a new technique, or you've just had a really enjoyable day. Don't forget to upload your finished card into the album, and I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.